Hi friends, in the last video we discussed about number formatting. The date and time formatting is also included by Microsoft in number formatting. So why is it so? We will discuss today, and also different type of date formatting. The date and time formatting should be in proper, otherwise there is a chance of interchanging month and day. We will discuss the system settings and how it is related to the date and time formatting, and how we can properly arrange the system settings to have the correct date formatting of our country. In the last lesson we discussed about number formatting. That is, while pressing Ctrl 1, a window comes, and in the number tab there are certain formats. Excel included date and time in number category, that is number formatting. So why? We have to analyze it, we have to understand it, how date is stored by Excel. So here there are certain numbers are typed here. These are in the number format, that is general number format. So just to copy it and paste here. So I'm going to change these numbers into date. We select here in the number category, we can see short date, the other formatting we discussed, and we click on the short date, then it is converted into date. That is number 1, that is 1900 is stored as 1, and adding 1 for increasing the date, that is next date is obtained by adding 1 to the previous date. Similarly, then when 365, that is 30th December, it is a leap year, 366, 31st December. So advantages of storing this date in number is, that is we can easily find out the difference between two date, months, year, etc. And also it is very easy to get the date sorted in date format. So that is why date is stored as number. That means each date is associated with a number. So suppose we are using a number before this date, that is it will store as just mere text and not as a date. So for calculation simplicity, Excel stores the data in the number format. That is why it is included in the number category. In lesson 7, we discussed about converting a date in text format obtained from a CSV file to date format. There is another method and a simple method, that is we can use a function, date function here, that is equal to date value. When we type this, the function is shown here. After typing the function, you can press tab, then it shows the complete function with open bracket, then click the corresponding cell, that is where the date in text format is available. Click here the A3, then press enter. So we know that show a number, that is we already told that Excel stores the date as a number. We can just copy it by double click here, it copied to the last cell. So these are numbers. Then we go to the group the here and click click, and when drop down menu comes, just select the short date. So it is converted into date, and we can see that this is right aligned as it is a date, and it is left aligned as it is a text. So it is very easy to convert a text in date in text format to date format. Here what's the problem is, this when we using a function, here there's a date value that shows the function. So as this function is depending on this value, that is there is a reference, relative reference is here. So when relative reference occurs, we delete this cell here. Actually that date is available in text format, there is error, that is value error is shown, that is the value is missing. So how to avoid these errors? So we have to delete this column. So when delete this column, error will be there. How to avoid this error we discussed in lesson 4. So I'll quickly say once again. So select the column, then Control C for copying this, and we are going to paste over this. So here there is a paste icon active. So just select, and there is a paste value. We can click on this. So now instead of showing the function, it shows the actual date. Now we pasted it as date. So now it is, we can easily delete this column. So while deleting, no error will be shown. So to avoid reference errors and to know more about reference errors, you just go to lesson 4 in our Excel learning series. Next, we have to convert this date easily into short date and long date. Actually, here there are drop down menu shows short date and long date. Now we can select a date here. Actually, this long date and short date we can change in settings, in regional settings. We will discuss in the last part of this video. So we select here, select the date and copy and paste here. Then we can select long date. So what happens while selecting long date? It shows the name of the month and hyphen is removed, and in this way we can easily format the date. So far we learned different formatting methods. So some more example that we can practice by making use of what we learned in formatting of the date. Just copy and select here, press enter. So okay, then here we select here, then control 1 and take the custom format and type the format we needed. So that is 3D, then we can have a comma, then space, then DD hyphen 3M, then again hyphen. So we can give apostrophe or single quote, then YY. Okay, then click enter. So we can have this right aligned. What happens? This is Wednesday. 3D shows the Wednesday, then 2D 01, then 3M shows the first 3 letters of the month, then YY and the single quote also, that is apostrophe, is shown here. Okay, this is the one method, and this also can be formatted like this. So all these we discussed, but I am giving you one more example. Then it is custom format, and select the type here 4D, then comma space DD. We use slash here, 4M, then slash, then 4Y. Press enter. Okay, then so here month, 2 digits of the day, then 4D gives the full name of the day. So okay, in this way we can customize any date. So when you go to the formula bar, it shows a date, that is you can see here, but formatting changes this value. So formatting is very important as far as date is concerned. So far we learned so many formatting techniques. Then how can we use this in our day-to-day work? Suppose we have to prepare a schedule or a timetable or something like that, and suppose we have to need the system date. So how can we have system date or today's date? Press control, then press on semicolon, then today's date will be displayed, and we can just drag it. So when you drag it, we will get the fill series, the next day's date. Then suppose we how copy this? Normally we just select it and copy and paste here. So what's the problem is, if you make any changes in the first row, it will not reflect in the second row. So this is not good. So we delete it. Then what we do is, we click on the just below cell, press equal to sign, then select the cell. So then press enter. So this date is copied here. When you make any changes in the first row, that change will reflect next below row. So you can drag now. Okay, before dragging, what we do is we can format it. Click on, press on control 1, then select the custom date and give 3D, then it shows Saturday. So we can format by align this text date, then we can drag. You drag it, this was this the date. When you look at the formula bar, it shows the just the equal to B1. That means what is in B1 will reflect in B2. So any changes will be reflected here. So we need not make changes in both the cell. So in this way we can have some normally what people do is just simply write the date here and look at the calendar and it is Saturday and type Saturday. So it is prone to error. So avoid error, you practice this type. So here we can select and give border. Just like click the border here. This explained in previous lessons. So this in practical use, we can make use of date format in this way. Next, we have to understand about the time formatting. That is, we know that Excel stores date as whole numbers. So if any fractional part to that number will be considered, that is decimal part will be the time of the day. So just to copy here, and we can format this, and we will understand how time is stored in Excel. So control 1, then we take the custom format and we give a format here, square bracket HH, small h is enough, HH, then colon, then shows minutes, again colon, seconds. Okay, press enter. So 0.25, that is 6 hours, 5 means half, that is 12, then 75, 18 hours, and 1 full day, 24 hours. So in this way, that means I just to show you that the fractional part will be stored as the time. So we can have some common format here. So we can copy the sample time and we can format. Control 1, take the custom format, and also that is here one format here we have to HH colon and we have to add AM slash PM, then enter. That is 2:30 is 2:30 AM and 14:30 is 2:30 PM. And here also we can have the format, just to copy it. Then here only HM, that is there won't be any difference because we show that HH for hours and minute. Then suppose we want the second also, we can copy here. Then control 1, we can add seconds. Okay, so here we did not type the seconds. Suppose we type the seconds, it will be reflected here. It's a common format. So you can even combine date and time format, and also here we have some built-in format. So you just explore this by selecting built-in format. We can suppose we selected here a format, then click OK, it will show AM and PM. Okay, actually in this way you can format the time if you need the time to be included in your date. Today we discussed about the short date and long date, that is we select here, and date we can select short date and long date from here. But the long date and short dates are as a part of the system settings. In India we use the common format DDMMYYYY, that is date first, month next, then last year. But in American formatting and some other countries uses MMDDYYYY, that means month first, then date, then year. So sometimes in some of your computer may show this type of formatting. It is because your system settings about the regional format is so we can just go to the system settings. Then for that, in the search bar you type settings, click on the search bar, type settings, then press enter. So it opens. We can go to the time and language. Okay, date and time, regional settings is there. Okay, we click here. So first time zone and everything we can set here. Then you can change the date and time format. Okay, here first day Sunday and short date, we can change the short date as like this. So here default we have set like this, that is why short date is on that. And in the long date you can set like this, Wednesday 5th April 2017. This is on sample formatting. We choose this as long date, that is why when we select from number grouping, this is shown. So we can change like this. And short time also we can set from here, long time also, AM and PM symbols we can change if you want. Normally default like this. So in the last video we discussed about the number formatting. Here number grouping is given and you can explore all these things. That is, in India number is first 3, then comma, then 2, then 2. But in American style all 3 grouping is there. So similarly we can choose the system and metric system, and also currency format. The last video we discussed about the currency format. So default the Indian currency we can set. Some of your computer maybe or laptop may be showing dollar, so you go to system settings and select the Indian format. So similarly we can also digit grouping also we can change from here. So it is very important that if it is not properly you set in system settings, regional formatting, number formatting and currency formatting, your Excel will show different format. So you can change it by giving some custom formatting, but you first of all you go to the system settings and do these changes. So that's all for today. Okay, thank you for watching the video, and today's lesson we wind up here and wait for the next lesson. Thank you. Goodbye.